Welcome to Cinetations, where we see if a certain cinema holds up to our expectations. And today, we're watching Rodentz.
Now this lovely, lovely film. What year was it made? 2001.
2001. Oh, I'm really excited for it.
I am terrified of the leftover 90s goodness.
So, we're going to check out the trailer and see what it has in store for us, because I read a little bit, so I know.
I'm not optimistic so far.
Yeah, so
let's see.
You better watch your back.
Oh my God!
You better watch your step. And you better hide your cheese.
Well, that was definitely something.
I mean, if you're gonna watch anything, I'd at least just watch the trailer, because that's a gem in its own. Like,
yes, we begin with this group of teenagers, and it looks like it's gonna be this positive, fun party movie, but it quickly becomes a science experiment gone wrong. Why were the teenagers allowed in this science lab?
I don't know.
And why were there so many rats?
Well, that's a science lab for you.
I suppose.
But that was some strong indie, like, hey, let's do this during the summer.
Lots of
something.
Practical effects, even just in the trailer, and
there's some CGI.
A little bit.
Which, you know, that can be impressive on its own.
Yeah, and I felt very much that this should be watched on VHS. That was the vibe that I was getting.
Yeah, coming soon to VHS. We did find it on YouTube, so it is free to watch for the time being, unless it gets taken down soon. So, before we go in, like, so did that catch your attention at all? Did that get you in there?
Not in a positive manner. Not at all.
No.
I'm not looking forward to this movie, if I'm being honest.
Did it fit the name? Did it give you, like, okay, I can kind of see where they're going, I'm in?
I mean, I think it fits the name, Rodentz. There were lots of rats.
But with a Z, so it makes it like...
almost like zombie rodents or something.
Any idea for the concept? Or did the trailer just paint a beautiful picture for
I feel like this ranks right up there with Sharknado, and I haven't even seen the movie yet.
Sharknado's pretty good.
I have not seen Sharknado either, to be fair.
I actually binged all of those.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
impressive.
That was a good time. I think it'll live up to the expectations. I think we're gonna get a really good experience out of it.
I think this is gonna be a really bad experience. So yeah, it's probably gonna live up to these expectations.
Okay, well, it's different of perspective, I guess. So let's go into it.
2,000 years later.
Looks like I made my way here. And even though I wasn't a part of the whole group to begin with.
Oh, hey.
Sorry.
When'd you get here?
Oh, I know, right? I don't know.
Oh.
I decided to sit down and see what you people were doing.
Oh, well, thank you, Toast, for joining us.
Toast, did you
great.
enjoy the movie?
The parts that I got to see were... they
were pure cinematic excellence.
Pure cinematic gold.
You said dripping with sarcasm.
You know, the only thing I miss, the only thing that I wish they could have added at least was the fact that it was like there was no connection to hiding your cheese anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Except for in the trailer.
It said it in the trailer. Never
they
seen
said
it
hide
again.
your cheese.
Yeah, but there was nothing connecting that.
No, I think it was just the whole they're rats and rats cheese and that stereotype.
I guess. So what do you think? Did it make the cut?
It is definitely not a movie I would watch again.
No? You wouldn't watch that?
This was
that was an hour and a half of
my
brilliance.
life that I will never get back.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm sure you could find it somewhere.
You gotta go on a real long quest though that will waste more of your life, but you'll find that hour and a half. You will
gain it.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, you can find YouTube tutorials. You can.
So why didn't it work out for you?
First of all, my favorite is the fact that they had no idea how science works in any aspect.
Oh man, there's pseudoscience, and then there's just I'm duct taping things together science.
Literally in the first
Is that really science then?
It wasn't even like MacGyver science.
First 15 minutes, he pours something directly down the drain, which is number one rule.
Glowing green liquid just down the drain.
Laboratory safety. Don't do that.
And then his mentor professor is all, F you, I'm right, stop questioning me, I'm just gonna be grumpy about everything.
Yeah, we never figure out if there was actually something wrong with the serum that he put in the rats. It never addresses that again.
No, because the lead professor's like, it was right. It's the same thing. Nothing changed. And then, what was his name? Walter is all like, no, something's weird with this one. And then the rat grows, breaks out, has some telepathic connection to all the other rats, and goes on this rampage.
You know, the fun part about this is that you all explaining the plot, it really leads me to believe that it could have been something if they actually tried. But it seems as if this was sort of thrown together. Like, I think you mentioned that, right?
I mean, it felt like it could have been someone's like last year film project.
Like, we're just out of college. We want to make a movie.
Oh, look at that.
Pizza's here.
Pizza time.
Here. Huzzah. Hello.
His phone goes off. Pizza.
You got some money?
I already paid it.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're good. Hang on.
Might have to sign for it. Just scribble some
some pins and some stuff. Good.
You need like an animation.
Which one's which? Top one's yours, right?
Oh, the guy doesn't even know how to sign for the pizza. Because God forbid, we're professional.
The beauty of these things is that so long as you tastefully incorporate this, you're perfect.
It's not tastefully done.
It's not?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, well then that's fine.
Okay, well, let's finish this off before we do this.
I also love that you go online to find this movie, and apparently there's 2 titles for it out there.
Yeah. No, the second title is Altered Species, and that's the only way I actually found its IMDb. It's the same plot, same time. It is the same movie. I made sure of that.
You see, this is one of those things where it comes back to Japan released Resident Evil as a biohazard, and it got Resident Evil here. So, it's kind of sort of along the same lines. The only difference...
Isn't there a Resident Evil game called Resident Evil Biohazard?
Is there?
Pretty sure there.
Oh. Well, forget about that. I'm looking more into the sense of there's 2 different titles, and in Japan there was one, it's Biohazard, and then we know it as Resident Evil because when it got released here, it was kind of similar to the stuff that had already gotten released. But with that said, the movie itself...
Right, and I can understand that point, except... Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. But so I was like, I understand your point, except this is a American-made movie.
Yes.
It should have been released in America. It also took 10 years for them to go to DVD, which is entirely inexplicable in my opinion, other than...
Yeah, it's inexplicable, and it also leads me to further believe that this movie was just thrown together at the last minute.
I can't find its budget.
Yeah, there's very little information
on
this.
It. But I mean, if I created something this brilliant, I would...
You'd be proud?
I'd be super proud.
I think that if I saw this as a creation and I had to sit down and look at it, I would grow to hate myself so incredibly much.
So there's some CG elements.
There was?
Yeah, so there's this one part where it shows you close-up of the CG rat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it kept showing it like 4 or 5 times.
Over in the same scene, and then never did it again.
It also had...
is kind of nice in the fact where in some bad movies where they show the CG whatever, it's always like the same animation.
Yeah.
Like they only animated like 30 seconds of it, and that's all
they could afford, and they'll use it over and over
So
again.
it's fine. I can understand that's why they didn't do it, but it's like...
And then there were also like rats that came out of a doorway at one point that were very poorly animated because they didn't actually move. It was like the figure of a rat just like kind of slides across the floor, down the step, and across the floor again.
Oh, so it was like...
I like the ones that just spawned from the girl.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, that. What was that?
They just needed to show up, and
her dead body, like 50 rats or more.
It's time to show up now.
Nothing about this movie made sense.
So the beauty of that is
the practical elements, the rat suit. When it got big, like that was some hardcore stuff, man.
It was like a mascot suit, essentially.
Yeah, I really love the 2 seconds it actually gave us a full shot of it.
It's because they didn't want to show just how little effort they put into it.
I mean, they put a lot of effort into it.
They did?
Maybe they did.
Maybe.
We don't
know. They possibly just purchased it from somewhere. Who knows? Craigslist.
Well, I mean, the main actor was
This episode is brought to you by Craigslist.
If they want to sponsor me, man, then yeah, I'll shove that in your face all day. Be like, hey man, you need to go to Craigslist right now. Well, how's the acting? How did it make you feel?
I did not feel any commotion. Commotional? No.
Emotional.
Emotional. You felt commotional. So the emotion was commotion.
I feel zero emotional connections to any of these characters.
Zero commotion.
Like,
Zero.
I only feel bad for Walter because he was trying to stop all this rat madness in the very beginning.
Even though he started
10 minutes of the movie.
Even though he was the cause of
Even
it.
though he was also the cause,
Yeah,
yes.
that's why, kids, you
Exactly.
don't try to solve cancer, or else you create giant rats.
I don't think that was the moral of the story.
That's what I took from it.
Okay.
If there was a moral, that would probably be it. Or maybe
Don't try to solve
don't hang
illnesses.
out in random laboratories for fun.
Or rather, don't try to concoct something that you don't know the end result.
Don't pour chemicals down the drain, kids.
So there's a lot of morals to this
Yes,
story.
drink the chemicals.
The chemicals are edible. If it's green, it is lime flavored.
No, because if you pour it down the sink, then it could end up somewhere and cause giant rats. But if you just drink it yourself,
Which
then
apparently, this stayed down the drain long enough for it to give the hint of a sequel with a tarantula
man, I
sitting in
wanna
the green slime.
if I could ever find the sequel, we're doing it.
Please.
Please,
Yeah.
Please, for the heavens, forbid it.
No, we
release
have
us
to.
from this contract.
No.
Release us from the chains of which shackle us.
So did you feel any character development?
Was there? Can you say with all confidence that there was a remote level of character development? Because all
No
of them
one
seemed to
was
fit
alive
archetypes.
long enough to develop a character.
When all the teens quotes showed up to whatever, you're like, I don't care about these characters.
No, you
at
really
all.
don't. You sit there, you watch the movie, and you think, that's an archetype, that's an archetype. The
Honestly,
brief.
there wasn't even
Yeah,
any like foul language. There was no.
No.
I mean, the gore wasn't realistic for the most part.
Yeah, there was the gore, which can add to it, but
That would have gotten
nowadays,
PG-13.
yeah, that's not even that gory anymore.
No, that was tame.
So characters are pretty bland for the most part. How about that plot though? I was really down for some non-linear plot.
It was kind of all over the place, if we're being honest.
Yeah, it seemed to jump, but I guess that's something that's always nice about a movie is when it sort of doesn't go right in the something happened. Now something needs to be solved. Now it's solved. Instead it's let's start off here, but let's go over there. And then when Billy comes into the picture, Susie's gonna go over there, and we're gonna talk about this thing that happened in their life with that thing over there.
meandering.
Yeah, so it's doing this nice little serpentine across the linear path.
I would like to know the logic, and maybe I just missed it in watching it, of why. I don't remember his name. He locked himself
Gary?
in the. Was it Gary?
We kept calling him Gary.
He died in there because he couldn't open the door back up.
No, he didn't die.
He didn't die?
Yeah, no, he didn't die, remember? Because the rats died and they opened the door for him. He died later by the big
later
rat
on.
because the big rat just ripped his head off.
I apparently missed half how much of a snore fest it was for me.
Just zoned completely out of the movie.
Well, it's one of those films that, like she said, you sit there and you don't want to watch it because it feels like your soul and your mind is being melted from your body.
So, did it give you that satisfying ending, or were you just satisfied that it ended?
I'm going to say a little bit of both because I was glad that like the rat died and there was this satisfying like explosion for no actual reason.
That's where a lot of that budget went to. Was
that one explosion.
Dim explosions, though.
And but yeah, I was definitely glad it was over by a long shot.
The movie for me was, well, I'll put it like this. Did it meet the expectation of terrible?
Yes.
It did.
I'm gonna give it a strong 5.
A strong 5.
Yeah.
From what facet?
It was shot beautifully. The characters just exploded with emotion. I think it could be a strong trilogy.
I'm gonna go find something to bludgeon you with.
I'm gonna give it a 2, just because of the fact that even though it was horrendously bad, it was laughable at some points. It was that bad that it was funny. It wasn't supposed to be, but it was.
It's a strong drinking movie.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yes.
Every time you see a rat, you have to drink.
Oh, no. You get out 30
You
minutes.
take 1/3 of your shot. Just 1/3.
No, for every rat, you take a shot.
For every rat you
Every rat.
That is a death wish.
Death wish? Nah, you killed your soul by that
You just
point.
need a constant straw, like this beer hat. Just constantly
Love that
drink.
liquor.
Yeah, just constantly.
felt great.
But hey, 45 minutes in, halfway through the movie, then man, this is the best movie I've ever seen.
Get them liquor goggles.
Okay.
I give it a 2.2.
Okay.
Oh, higher than
Okay.
mine.
Okay.
2.25 because
How did it get that extra?
the little 1/4 of a star.
Yeah.
The reason why it gets this is because it's so god awful that you can watch it for the purpose of
Tearing it to pieces?
making sure that you never do anything like that yourself.
Yes.
You look for all the points of which are atrocious and make sure you never repeat them.
Warning signs, kids. Hide your cheese.
Hide your cheese.
Hide your cheese.
And on that note,
Remember, this is Cinetations, where we see whether a certain cinema will hold up to our expectations.
And I guess this one sorta didn't.
This one held up to so many expectations.
it was exactly what I expected.